Hey all, this is Anjali. So you have your next exam, that's IP on 23rd for commerce students, and for humanities and science students you still have your history and maths, and you have lesser time in comparison to commerce students to prepare for it. But anyhow, you can spare an hour or two from your maths and history exam for IP so that you just get to revise in the last one day which you have. So, as I've told you earlier, that when you start preparing for your exam, you have, even if you prepare for 7 days, it's more than enough. So, IP is a subject where you get good marks by putting in less efforts in comparison to other subjects. So, as I told you, when you start preparing for your exam, even though you think that you know DBMS, you're very good in DBMS, still go through it once again. Make sure that you know it very well because DBMS is for 30 marks in your board exams. I'm repeating it again and again because due to overconfidence or due to the tension that you don't know Java but your SQL is still fine, you tend to ignore it and you might lose marks over here. And that is what I want, that you should not lose even a single marks in DBMS. You should get 30 out of 30 in this. And then you go for your computer network theory and open source for 10 marks, ID application for 5, and then pick up your Java and HTML, that is the remaining 25 marks. So even if you haven't studied IP in the whole year seriously, if you still give 1 week to IP properly with proper planning and proper way of study, you really can score well in your theory exam for IP. So without wasting time in all this stuff again, I'm going to solve a few questions for DBMS. Now, what I'm going to do for the first 2 days, that's for today, tomorrow. Today is 20, no, today is 18th. Yeah. So today is 18th. So what I'm going to do is on 18th and on 19th, I'm going to upload videos only for DBMS where I'm just going to solve more and more questions about the same, and so that you can see how they have to be solved and you get the clear concept of how to attempt the questions in the board exam. So I'll be uploading many videos as much I would be able to make for DBMS only for 18th and 19th of March. So please go through those thoroughly. In case you have any doubt, do write in the comment section below. So I'll try to solve as many papers as I can for you. And yes, if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel so that you can get the notifications whenever I upload a new video for this. Okay, so let's start with the thing. As you know that you get three questions from MySQL in your board exam. So we get three questions. That's question number 3, which carries 10 marks in total. We have question number 5, which again carries 10 marks in total, and question number 6. So this is a sample paper for 2014. So let's start with this. And yes, I have the set of sample papers and previous year papers, and the link for downloading the papers is given in the description section. So you can download from there. And you can download the solution for this as well from the link in the description section. Okay, so the first question over here is write 2 examples of DBMS software. So if I have to answer for the third part, A part, write 2 examples of DBMS software. So they haven't asked you to define it, just you have to write the name. So examples of DBMS are the one which is there in your syllabus, which is MySQL, and the second one could be Oracle. Others are like SQL Server and DBase and all, but 2 are asked, so you can just write these 2. Then this question was for 1 mark. That's enough. What happens when auto commit is set on? So auto commit is a command in SQL which tells that whatever you perform, like I perform delete, insert or update, those should be saved automatically or not. When we give the commit command, specifically when we write commit semicolon, so whatever changes we have made in the database, they get saved permanently. That's the commit command. Now, auto commit, as the name suggests, auto commit means automatically commit. So when you write commit, it gets saved. But auto commit means I should not be able to write, I should not need to write some commit. So मुझे commit लिखना नहीं है to make the changes be permanent. मैंने एक delete command लिखी एंड उसके बाद मुझे कमिट नहीं लिखना है. ऑटो कमिट अगर ऑन है तो वो चेंजेस ऑटोमेटिकली कमिट हो जाएंगे एंड यू कांट रोल इट बैक, यू कांट कैंसिल दोज चेंजेस. So when auto commit is on, as soon as I write a delete command, insert command, or update command, the changes made by that command are saved automatically. So by default, MySQL has auto commit as on. We can set it off. So what happens now? This is what is auto commit mean. I hope you understood what auto commit means. Now, how would you write the answer for this? What happens when auto commit is set on? When it is set on, the commands which we give are committed automatically. You don't have to commit them explicitly and they can't be rolled back. So we can write the answer as when auto commit is on, changes made to the database are committed automatically and they can't be cancelled using rollback command. In MySQL, auto commit is on by default. So you don't have to set it, it's by default on. In MySQL, auto commit is on by default. Okay. But if you have to make it on, so what can you do for that? If you have to make it on, for doing that, you write set auto commit is equal to 1. Will make it on if you want to do it explicitly. So we can do it with the help of this. If I put 0, that means I want to off the auto commit. So that would be the answer for your B part. Then is the question, what is meant by null value in MySQL? So in MySQL, when we insert a record and we don't give a value for a field, it has null. Null means no value at all. Null does not mean 0. Null does not mean a blank string. Null means no value at all. So we say that null means no value. It is different from 0 or a blank string, which is this. So it's different from that. It's different from the blank string or 0. Whenever an operation is performed, on a null value, whatever operation that is performed on a null value, the answer is always null. Null value, the answer is always null. For example, if I write 0 plus null, so not 0 plus null, if I write 100 plus null, so it won't give me 100, it will give me null. So whenever we perform an operation with the null value, the result is always a null value. So null means nothing at all. Okay, the D part is the table club has 4 rows and 3 columns. Table member has 2 rows and 5 columns. What will be the cardinality of Cartesian product of them? So this cardinality of Cartesian product is something which is asked almost every year in one or the other way. So cardinality of the Cartesian product is number of rows of first table multiplied by number of rows of second table. And if they would have asked about the degree, it's number of columns in the first table plus number of columns in the second table. So here we have to find the cardinality only. So we have 4 rows in club table, we have 2 rows in member table, so it's 8. So you will write cardinality of Cartesian product is 4 into 2, that is 8. So that's your answer for D part. Then comes E, a numeric data field. A numeric data field changer contains this value. Write a command to round off the changer. So up to 2 decimal places I have to round it. So how would you write this? The first part would be select. You don't have to tell the value what will come after rounding off. You just have to tell what command you should write. So the numeric data field name is changer, comma 2. So this would round it and from the table name. So table name is not given in the question. So you can just write this much. So select round changer comma 2. That means it will round off the value of changer up to 2 decimal places, and they have shown you that the expected result is this. But we had to write the command here, so we write the command like this. Usually it comes that the command is given and you have to write the answer, but here you have to write the question for that. So we'll write this way. And the second one is where you're rounding it off to 0 decimal places. So to round off up to 0 decimal places, you can write round changer comma 0, or you can just leave it like this. If I don't write comma 0, that means it's rounding it up to 0 decimal places. Okay. So if not mentioned by default, it's taken as 0. So 1 mark each, you get 2 marks for this question. Then comes F part. Name methods used to perform the following in NetBeans. Usually it has only the SQL questions, but might happen sometimes you get it like this. So the question is to set component visible at runtime. Okay, if I have to answer this, it is set visible function is used and we pass true to make that component visible. Okay, to return the index value of the selected item from the list. So to return the index value, so we have get selected index, which has to be used with the list, and obviously you have to write the list name over here. So list dot get selected list name, which could be JList1, JList2, anything, and here component name dot set visible. So that's a Java question, but anyhow, if it comes, so you have to write like this because there's no other option. So you can't say that you can't give a Java question in the SQL part. So we just answer it. Okay. Then comes question number G, which says Gopi Krishna is using a table employee. It has the following columns: code, name, salary, dep code. He wants to display maximum salary department wise. He wrote the following command: select dep code, comma max salary from employee, but he did not get the desired result. Rewrite the above query with necessary changes to help him get the desired result. Now, the very main thing which is wrong over here is since we are using a group function, but we haven't used group by command over here. So, if we have not fetched this dep code thing, then this code will work fine because then I can get the maximum salary from the whole table employee. But since it's written select dep code comma max salary, that means I have to see maximum salary for each department. That means that first you need to make a group as per the department code, and for each department it should show the maximum salary. But the group by command is missing here. So when you write the correct query for this, it should be select depth code, comma, max salary from employee group by. Group by what? Group by depth code. So that's the answer for your question. So group by was missing, we just write that. Okay, so this is your question 4, which is all about Java. So we'll discuss that in the upcoming videos, but not now. And then comes your question number 5. So it has again SQL question. The first question is for 2 marks that says state difference between the function now and sysdate of MySQL. So difference between the function now and sysdate. Now gives you the current date and time of the execution of the command, whereas sysdate gives you the current date and time of the system in which you're working. So almost the date and time is same what you get, with might be a difference of a second maximum you can get, but otherwise it's almost same. But theoretically, if you have to write the difference, so now gives you the date and time of the execution of the command. So I'll write it like now displays the date and time when the command is executed, whereas sysdate displays the date and time of the system clock. So which is almost the same, but that's the difference theoretically between now and sysdate. Then comes name a function of MySQL which is used to remove trailing and leading spaces from a string. So we have a function called trim which is used to remove the spaces from the beginning as well as end of the string. So trim is used to remove the spaces. We have ltrim and rtrim as well, but rtrim removes from the right hand side only, ltrim removes from the left hand side only, trim removes from both the sides. So that's A and B. Okay. Then C part is consider the following table named SBOP with details of account holders, and you have a table over here. Usually you get a table like this where you have 4 questions where you have to write the SQL query, and there are 4 questions where you have to write the outputs. But in this question we have 4 where we have to write the query, and we have 3 where we have to write the output, and it's for 7 marks in total. Okay, so let's start with the thing. So this is C part and then one of C. Okay. So first question says to display account number, name and date of open of account holders having transaction more than 8. So this question is the easiest question for SQL you get. To display, when they have listed a field name set, you have to list all of the names. But if they ask you to display the list, that means you just have to write select star. So here the field names are mentioned. So I'll write select account number, comma name, comma date of open. Make sure you write commas in all the field names. Don't write and here because few students write and they get marks cut just because of that. So make sure if there are 2 fields, 3 fields, 4 fields, you just give commas in between. Then you have to write from name of the table. Name of the table is SBOP. Then the condition is transaction is more than 8. So where transaction is more than 8, that means greater than 8. So that's it, that's the query. So we write select, we write the name of the fields which have to be seen, we write from, then table name, where, the condition. So that makes your query. Second query is to display all information of account holders whose transaction value is not mentioned. Now as you can see, it's written display all information. All information means select star from SBOP where transaction value is not mentioned. So transaction value is not mentioned means it's null. So we have to write where transaction is null. Null cannot be compared with the equal to sign. So if you have to check for the transaction null value, we have to use the operator is. We have to write transaction is null. Third question is to add another column address with data type and size as varchar 25. To add a new column in a table, we have to use alter table command. So I write alter table add. The column name has to be address. The data type has to be varchar 25. So we just write that, put a semicolon. So it's alter table add address varchar 25. That adds a new column named address of the given data type in the table named SBOP. So we have to write the name of the table as well. So alter table SBOP add address varchar 25. Fourth question is to display the month day with reference to date of open for all the account holders. So you have to show only the month day. So we have a function called day of month. We have functions like day of week, day of month, day of year in SQL. So day of month tells you which day it is of the month in the given date which you have given in the brackets. So the field name is date of open from SBOP. So this is how we get day of month, like today is 18th March, so this will give me 18 if the value of date of open is 18th March. So that's how we get the day of month. If you had to get day of year, the function name is date of year. And if you had to get the date of week, so we have day of week. Anyhow, this is the answer for the fourth query. Now, fifth query onwards, the query is written and I have to tell the output of that. So query is select count star from SBOP. Count star means I have to count the number of rows. There are 5 rows in this. So there are 5 rows in this. So output would be, you will write the formula over here as the heading. And then on the next line, you have to write the answer. So that's 5. Then next, Next is I have select name, comma balance from SBOP, where name like percentage I. So what I have to show? I have to show name and I have to show balance. I have to show for whom? I have to show for whom where name like percentage E. Like means pattern matching. I don't know the full value. I just know part of it. What part I know is that the last letter is I. Percentage I means that there can be any number of characters in the beginning and the last letter should be I. So let's go through the names above. So if I go above here, I see Anil, the last letter is L, it does not match. Amit does not match. Sakshi matches. So I have to show Sakshi here. So I go here and I write here the name, which is Mrs. Sakshi. Okay, and then I have to write her balance. Her balance is 45,000, so 45,000.00 as it is given in the table. And then we go to the next record is Gopal, that ends with L, Dennis ends with S. So that is the only record which matches the condition, so we just show that. Then you have the next question which says select round balance comma minus 3 from SBOP where account number is equal to SB5. So what I have to show is that should be the heading. I have to show round balance comma minus 3. So that should be the heading. And what value I have to show is for SB5, I have to round up the balance. Minus 3 means I have to make 3 digits 0 from the left of the decimal. Thus 459 should become 0, and this is 4, so we will not add an extra digit here. If it is 5 or more than that, so it should become 64,000, but this is 4, so we are not going to add anything, so the answer is going to be 63,000 for this. So that's how your round works. So that's the output for the 3 questions, and this question was for 7 marks. Then comes your question number 6, which has the question regarding creation of the table, and it has question regarding joins where 2 tables are involved. So always your first question is for 2 marks where you have to create a table. It's coming like this. Since the time you have Java and Mysql in your syllabus, that's more than 7-8 years. So how do we write this command? It's very simple. We just write create table, then name of the table is shop, so we write shop. You can write the whole command in the same line, but I prefer writing it this way, that I write create table shop, then I start the round bracket as it's given in the table over here. So we write F number, give a space. Instead of writing int 10, you can just write integer, or int 10 will also work. Then we write primary key, and I give comma. Then we have F name, then varchar, varchar 15, no constraint, so comma, then you have type is char 10, so no constraint, so give comma and go to the next line. Then you have stock is integer, comma, then I have price is decimal, so you can write decimal 8,2, or I can just write float, bracket close, semicolon. That's it. This is the easiest command you have in your exam, and it comes for sure like this always every year. So that's create table command, which gives you 2 marks. Then comes your next question, which has 2 tables in this, ticket details and agent details. Then they have questions for this. The question is to display T code, T name and A name of all records uh, where the number of tickets sold is more than 5. It's for 2 marks. To display T code, name and A name of all the records where the number of tickets sold is more than 5. Okay, so I'll start writing the first query where I have to show select, I have to show T code, comma, I have to show name, comma, I have to show A name from. Both the tables are required because T code and name are in ticket details table, and A name which you have to fetch is in agent details table. So I have 2 columns here and 1 column here. That means I have to fetch from both the tables. So you write from name of the first table, that is ticket details, comma, agent details. As I've told you earlier that when we fetch from tables, so that you should not write the complete table name again, you can give aliases here. So I give T as the alias for ticket details, A as the alias for agent details, because then I have to write the condition for join. Whenever you have joining of two tables, you always have some common field in them, like A code is there in ticket details and A code is there in agent details as well. So if I take Meena, Meena's A code is A01. That means Meena's ticket is booked by Mr. Robin. Then Vani is A02, means her ticket is booked by Mr. Ayush. Then this Meena's ticket is booked by Mr. Robin again, and so on. So I can see that, but how do I write it? I write it like this, where T dot A code is equal to agent dot A code. That's, and the second condition is number of tickets sold is more than 5. Then, and for number of tickets we have this column tickets. So I write and tickets sold is greater than 5. So you don't have to write tickets sold here, you have to write the name of the column which is there in the table. So in the table the column name is tickets, so you have to write tickets in the query. So even though they have mentioned to give the join condition or not, whenever you're fetching from two tables, you must specify the condition to join the tables, and whatever condition is there with that has to be joined with the help of and. Then is to display total number of tickets booked by agent Mr. Ayush. Now Mr. Ayush is here and total number of tickets booked is here. So that means again we need to join. But what we have to find? We have to find the total number of tickets booked by Ayush. So I have to find the sum of tickets, select sum of tickets from both the tables. So from both the tables, that means I need to write this much for sure. So from, we write this, and then we have to check that the agent name is Ayush, and I'll check a name is equal to Mr. Ayush. So it will find the sum of tickets for that agent only whose name is Mr. Ayush. Then third query is to display A code, A name and corresponding T code where A name ends with K. So you have to get A code, A name and T code. Again, two tables are required. So what I have to fetch is, I have to fetch select A code, comma, A name, comma, T code from the tables and the join condition which have to give, and I have to give the condition for checking A name ends with K. So from and A name like percentage K. So that checks whether the name ends with K, and rest of the condition to join will be there. So whenever you have to work on two tables, you must give the condition to join, and it's always same in all the queries where you make a join. Okay. So, and the second condition has to be added with the help of AND operator. So that's 6 marks for these three queries. Then there is a question with reference to ticket details table, which column is the primary key, which column is the foreign key, give reasons. So this is my ticket details table. T code is the primary key because it's used to identify each ticket, and A code is the foreign key because it helps me to link with the agent details table. So that's simple. So we can answer this question C as T code is the primary key for ticket detail table, and so T code is the primary key for ticket details table, and A code is the foreign key. So that's how we write that, and you have to give reasons. So A code is the foreign key, T primary key for ticket details table, since it has a unique value for each ticket booking, and A code is the foreign key since it helps to establish a link with agent details table. So that's how we write the answers for SQL. So this is for your 2014 paper. So I'm just going to upload this and you can download it from the link given in the description section. So I'll be uploading more papers like this in the coming days so that you can go through the solution, you can understand how to solve it, and you also try solving maximum papers you can solve, and you can anytime write your doubts in the comment section related to this video or related to any other doubt you have in IP. So feel free to write in the comment section below so that I can get the answers back to you. So I hope this video was useful. You could understand how to solve the SQL part, and if you really want to check your performance, one option is that you download the papers first from the description section. Now, this is the end of the video, so obviously you've seen the solutions for this paper. But from next paper onwards, you can do this. That first download the papers, solve the paper yourself, and then when I upload the solution for those papers, you can match how correct you are for that. So that will help you to judge how much marks you will get for the answers which you have written. Okay, so keep practicing, because more you practice, more you get the clear view of where you stand. So keep watching, keep studying, and to practice well to get the good marks. Thank you.